my work, I tend to do two things. I tend to try to bridge people. So either by the work that I've previously produced about Operation Condor, where I approach the victims and document their ordeals, both what I've been doing in Rio and documenting violence there, I'm trying to give those people a voice. It's not the only voice possible, for sure, but I'm trying that in 50 years from now, no one can come up and say, this did not happen. So that, on one end, I try to serve those people in the way that they're also serving me, by giving me their image, giving me their stories, and often sharing very hard moments of their lives. My project for the Halcyon Arts Lab was something that is deeply entrenched in me, which is historical memory and the way history is told throughout our lifetimes. And a particular episode called 9/11 that everybody remembers, or everybody was born at that time remembers, and the outcome of it. To me, it was fascinating that over this period of time, hundreds of people were being kidnapped, rendered, interrogated and tortured by US forces and intelligence. So I wanted to go into that and dwell into that. My outline of the project is, while here to try to develop contacts and speak to people who were involved, both in the armed forces, in the intelligence community, and the politicians who make these decisions. That on one end, and then archives, which is something very important to me as a researcher. And then eventually what I'll do is go into some of the countries where the people who have gone through these ordeals are now living, and try to interview and photograph them. And there's also the built landscape aspect of things, which is very important to me, also to go into the places where these events occurred, meaning mostly Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, and try to photograph those spaces which tell so much, even though they're empty and abandoned right now. I think creativity is that energy in life that brings you to different, I wouldn't even say different, but brings you to an environment where you feel free and that you want to contribute to. Halcyon was, it was very interesting the way I have came to understand what Halcyon was and decided to apply. And I had been researching this subject for 6 months on an academic way, and I just decided maybe I should apply with what I've learned and propose to develop a project on this, which had been in the back of my head for quite a few years. It's been very interesting to be with these 7 other fellows. Just living with a ceramicist and a performance artist, discussing everything every day, permanently learning from other people's perspectives that are very different from mine. And I think that's very, very enriching. So it was like a perfect match for me.